The Monsters Playbook is an adventure podcast for grown-ups. It contains violence and profanity and deals with adult themes that may be uncomfortable for some listeners. Specific content warnings can be found in the episode show notes. Listener discretion is advised.
Last time on the Divinity Plague.
We start hearing gently, at first, carnival tunes, and you are lifted out of frame by a trapeze artist and disappear from view.
I think the beast that's been stalking this place is in this forest somewhere.
Do you want to go find it?
Very much so.
And you notice large gouges torn out of the bark of some of the upper reaches of this tree. You notice also in the tree there's like trickles of downy feathers.
I think we find Sisna. We show them where this body is, and then maybe we can... but first we go see what that is.
Let's do that.
Do you know much about that creature? Why it's been doing these things? Where it's coming from? Or
one of the chitterling trucks, apparently they were like mid-convoy, had just left here. And one of them got lifted up off the ground, and it was found in the woods, in the trees, near the ranch of the Skeletons. Do you feel the rush?
Can I grab her neck, like one hand trying to start strangling her?
And you sail through the air for a moment, and when you pop up, you are standing in the carnival grounds. Hot one today, isn't it? Say, friend, can I interest you in a bite to eat? Tickle your taste buds? A dog is a man's best friend, they say.
Sisna is just going to take the ticket and head straight to the big top.
I learned about this creature that's been prowling around.
We were looking for it when this came down.
Something here was under very close protective key, but you see in large letters, Milton's disease, the Divinity Plague.
What is it?
Can't say I have heard of this one before. Best not to be touching this, though. You never know.
But as we get just a little bit beneath this helicopter, just a little bit further down into the mud, we see some of the tendrils almost wilt as they start to turn a brackish, reddish brown. But we see this change begin to grow, all stemming from this site here in the Clutching Woods.
I'm Miah, and I play Sisna.
I'm Emma, and I play Pearl.
I'm Drew, and I play Gary.
I'm Lauren, and I play Lune.
I'm David, and a god must feed. I've got a question first before we get to stuff. I want to start off the top with Sisna. I want your scene that you owed us at the end of last time. Vibe us in. What's the scene you've got for us?
Last time I marked the Ashen Circle from Verse of Prophecy. So we see an orphanage by the birthing god. There are the soft sounds of what kind of sounds like when you take scissors and you slide it over, smoothly over wrapping paper, that nice slicing sound. And we see a sun-bleached haired young girl in this orphanage room. There's a bunch of beds or cots. And an old woman comes into the room and drops her tray of food and screams. The tips of this little girl's hair is sticky and wet and clumpy. She looks behind her as she's sitting on the ground. The camera pulls back from the girl. The girl's pants are soaked black. There are red smudges on her face. And she says, "He was hungry." And there are 4 empty beds. 3 of them have tape on the bedposts. The blankets are messed up. And piled beyond the girl in front of her are piles of butchered meat. The window is open. The curtains are blowing in the wind. Only the girl sees the red eyes in the shadow.
Hell yeah. So where do we pick up with Gary, Pearl, and Lune?
I mean, I, out of character, feel like it would be good to maybe investigate either the Skeleton family ranch at this point, or to see if we can find any trace of Sisna.
Follow a trail of hot dogs.
Yeah.
We answered the nest question.
Yeah, because we assumed that it is near the Skeleton family ranch, so it would make sense to head there.
Sense to head there, I feel like.
Yeah.
And as much as I do want to know what the hell is going on with Sisna, at the same time, I feel like all of us are probably like, Sisna can handle themselves.
Mm-hmm. I'm cool with you guys dealing with the Dusk Mother thing. Yeah.
We also don't have any leads.
Yeah.
It's not that we don't care. It's that we don't know what we're doing.
No, that's okay. There's I forget. Are there phones in?
No.
No.
Or phone booths?
Well,
we would have to find an earman.
Yeah, we talked about this last time.
Here's what I would say. There probably are phone booths. I think landline phones are a thing. Cellular phones are not in our version of the setting.
Yeah.
And here's what I'll do for you. Because I have a good idea here to kind of start pulling things together between the 2 assignments. The only problem, because I kind of ended up setting this directly over here, is we might, depending on how the scenes flow, get denied a journey scene in between these 2. Because it could be that everything just happens completely separately for Sisna and the circus. And then they come back and having gone through all of that themselves. Or it could be that at some point you all go to where Sisna is. And if at that point, we'll see if we can't fit in a journey scene just to get everyone into one.
Sisna goes and has an entire
mystery
circus adventure.
So much fun.
Never tells any of us.
Yeah.
So Lune, Gary, Pearl, having found this kind of disturbing helicopter crash off in the woods, you kind of took that time while investigating that to also put together what you understood so far about the situation with the Dusk Mother here in Weft. You decided to go and take a look at the Skeleton family ranch, since that seems to be well tied to this. And you established at the end of our last episode that just outside of the ranch property there, where the woods borders it, is where the nest of whatever this creature is of the Dusk Mother. I assume you're walking there through the woods and stuff, right?
Yeah.
You don't go back to borrow the monster truck or some bullshit.
I don't think this helicopter's salvageable.
I don't know how to fly a helicopter. I don't want Lune to fly a helicopter. Definitely don't want Pearl to fly a helicopter.
Let me fly it.
This one ain't flying again, I gotta say.
Yeah, I think we're just probably walking. And since we're kind of traveling we're already in the woods, I think it's probably just more direct at this point to just walk there.
Yeah, I think so.
As you're walking through the woods, we see kind of a short montage. We don't hear you all talking particularly. We just see you as you're walking first through the forest, and then you kind of run across a local road, really just a dirt path cut through. You walk along that road for a little while until you arrive at a junction, and then before you can even choose which direction to go at that point, a car drives along. You flag it down. We see you have some sort of conversation here pointing to some names or pictures on some of the papers that you've gathered so far in this. You have that dossier that was given to you by your handler, by Brittany. And so you show the Skeleton family and stuff. And they appear to give you some pointers, some directions. But then they kind of as they drive off, they kind of watch you for maybe a little bit too long as they go off down the road. They don't offer to give you a lift, but they do give you a point in the right direction. And so we continue to see the 3 of you walking along the road. As our camera is kind of tracking along with you, we start to see, at first, the background behind you is all gray and brown. The sky here is still darkening. It's actually coming towards nightfall now, but there is still a little bit of light left in the day. This whole forest has been a very washed out, almost near sepia tone experience because of how the sky is so overcast and the light has been filtered and you're there underneath all these trees. It catches your eye immediately from our view from the camera that there are now little flecks of brightly colored green and red and white and yellow confetti that is just periodically sprinkled, caught in some bushes here, flickering from a tree here, from a branch. Then we start to see, we notice there is a trail of those little pennant flags tied to a rope that has been caught dangling, circling through these trees, until finally the three of you stop as dangling directly in front of you, hanging off a branch, is an empty trapeze. It's just the board run across the dowel with the ropes on either side. And we can see that that rope that we've been following was actually the upper piece of this particular trapeze line that had fallen from somewhere to now be here. And as you are walking along, we see that this has happened directly in front of, we see a rural mailbox, small with a nameplate on the side. There's another dirt path that leads up onto that property. And the board for that just says Ackerman there on that mailbox. You were told that the skeletons were just past the Ackermans further down this road. We can leave that as a detail, or you can go and have a chat there. If you want to maybe chat with a neighbor of the skeletons, that could be an excuse to go talk to the Ackermans.
I want that trapeze.
How, Pearl?
Where did you say it was?
It's caught in the branches of these trees. It's like a long bit of rope. It's spread across a couple of trees before the final dowel end.
Okay, there is a dowel end though.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna climb up. I'm gonna scramble up whatever tree has the dowel in it, and I'm gonna start there. I'm gonna have some amount of the rope that I can get clear before I cut it. Probably just with my teeth. It's
a sturdy enough rope to, bear the weight of a swinging person. I wasn't going to have you roll for this. You do have sharp teeth, though. That's right.
Yeah, I do have sharp teeth. Don't I also have...
You have a file.
I mean, I'm not going to, use a...
I think this is still simple enough and low stakes enough that we can just let Pearl do this.
Okay, cool.
You hop up the tree, you chew at the rope. I will give you trapeze scraps to add to your altar. I do question in the back of my mind what that functionally might be useful for, but I'm interested to find out.
I think while Pearl has been doing this, Lune, her eye went to the colorful confetti and she just starts picking it up like breadcrumbs. 1,
perfect.
2, 3, and starts picking up the confetti pieces individually.
I think Gary is just watching this and chuckling internally.
Lune, add pocket confetti to your altar as well.
Perfect, is what I was hoping for.
Do the three of you continue on towards the skeletons, or do you want to take a look at the Ackermans?
So the confetti and the trapeze and all the little pennant flags and all that stuff, it seems concentrated around the Ackermans mailbox. Was that what, did I hear that correctly? Or it was just near there?
Yeah, it's just near there. The trapeze, as it had sort of been strung across a few different trees, caught in some branches, had ended just before the mailbox for the Ackermans.
I kind of feel like Lune, with her confetti in hand, putting it in her bag.
Should we go talk to whoever lives in that house over there? Maybe they know something about those skeleton family.
I don't think I have any issues with that. Does it look like anybody's home?
You can definitely see that there's a fire lit inside of this home. There's smoke coming out of the chimney on it. And there's the primary residence, and there's also some fencing you can see pretty quickly. It's mostly cleared around here. They've got kind of a bit of a ranch setup similar to the skeletons. So we're already starting to leave the woods a little bit. The trees are growing fewer and further between.
Plus, maybe they have more confetti.
Or rope. Yeah, I think Pearl is already low-key looking in the windows as much as she can, just peering from the bottom.
We shall walk up to the house, David.
As you are going towards the house, we've got a paint the scene question for you. This relates back to the actual announcement for this assignment for Something Wonderful just outside of town. We'll finally read the part of it that we didn't read earlier. A farmer named Ackerman lost a few precious days of farm work looking for his wayward child, Joy. He finally found Joy tangled in a briar, wearing a torn singlet, their hands bleeding. Joy cried when dragged home, saying they couldn't be late for the show and that they had to fly. They described performing in a wonderful circus, but they were left behind when it moved on. They say the circus is still calling them. And I have a question for you all. The reason why we're establishing this now. Actually says direct to the following to a custodian of my choice. Ooh. No, I'm going to give this to the three of you. We'll give it to all of you, I think, because we can kind of settle on an answer. What has Ackerman built on his back property, hoping to prevent Joy from returning to the circus? How has Farmer Ackerman decided to try to contain Joy and prevent them from going back to the circus?
The first thing that came to mind for me, you know, those, sometimes they have them at malls, sometimes they have it at like fairs and Renaissance Festival type places. Budget bungee jumping, where they tie you to like a bungee
course or something.
And then you have, and then you have like the whole, you definitely have the ones that are like the whole course. I was thinking of the ones that are just like, you jump down and there are trampolines, and then you can like do the flips and stuff in the air with like a harness connected to you. So like that would be a cute, wholesome way to go with this, where he's trying to feed his daughter's interests.
He has erected this large audience of like fake cutouts.
Oh,
I love that.
And there is a like string mechanic. If someone like pulls on the string, they all clap.
Like Home Alone style, walking around the Christmas tree.
Like I'm almost imagining like, you know, those weird contraptions. It's like them, but then there's like poles attached to them, and then there's other like little figurines, and when they move, sort of like that in a way. But yeah, there's a fake audience.
Confetti poppers everywhere.
More
Everywhere.
confetti
Poppers all over the ground. Some used, most of them are not used.
If you collect enough, I can convince David to make this a repeatable item that you can use.
Just load up on it.
We become the confetti crew.
What else? I think there's probably like a loudspeaker system that's also in the back that plays music, but also like it's connected to some sort of communication type thing. So like somebody can be saying like, oh, and swinging from the rafters, Joy Ackerman.
It's Joy.
Yeah, exactly.
Excellent. So the three of you approach the front of the property. You notice like there's some odd shadows and stuff there at the back. Like you see the stilted cutouts of an audience, and you see them sort of moving their hands together. You hear the crackle of a loudspeaker, but as soon as you knock on the door, that you hear the feedback of a microphone being cut, and then quick footsteps through the house before the door creaks open at first to see the three of you. You see just the sliver of thinning hair, kind of like fluffy, like the down on the baby duck, glasses magnifying, squinting eyes at you through the doorway. You solicitors?
Oh,
Yes.
No.
I've got a sign for solicitors.
Not anymore, you don't.
Do you have more confetti?
Cracks the door a little bit further. He cracks an eye, and looking at Lune, he then clearly turns his attention to Gary. She been infected by the circus too?
Oh no, she's just she loves her confetti.
A circus?
A circus? What's a circus?
Now you've done it.
Oh, please.
Who wants to give me a veiled move with presence, I think, to kind of pry open
To get him to
Ackerman's
open the
heart
door.
in this moment? Yeah. Who wants to do that?
Makes sense to be Lune. She's
You
ready.
think me? Maybe I can remind him of his daughter.
Oh, that's true. That's a good point.
Her intrigue with all this confetti is just gonna
Yeah.
get to his heart.
I guess I'll try.
Yeah, do it for it. What are you worried is going to happen if you fail or lose your nerve?
I won't get any confetti.
Is that so hard to understand, David?
Yeah, fine, fair
The
enough.
really nice thing about playing like very wholesome, very like out of it characters is that they have no idea of the level of
Yeah.
danger. So
That's genuinely what Sheath is afraid of right now. She's like, I won't get any more confetti.
it wouldn't even occur to her that like he would slam the door in your face.
Yeah, like not that we could get in trouble or anything
Yeah.
like that.
Well, fair,
You can
reasonable. Go
tell
for
me
it.
what
Let's
if
see.
you think it's worse.
I mean, I think the situation might evolve a little bit more
Sure.
than that, but nothing. There's no revelation move, so I don't give you
But
a
you're
hard.
not going to get any confetti. So
Well, I rolled a 10.
hey,
Excellent.
Confetti time, dude.
all the confetti for Lune.
Confetti, please.
Yeah, Luna, you just are kind of like bouncing in place like confetti, confetti, confetti. And Ackerman, he just lets out the sigh of the most defeated father. I want you to imagine you're a child on a road trip. You've been on this road trip with your siblings for approximately 12 hours. You've been on the road today. Your father's been doing most of the driving, whoever this character is in your imagination here. And you have arrived at the hotel. Everybody needs to go to the bathroom, but there's only one bathroom. And as it turns out, when they open up the place, bathroom is like out of order and not working. And the sigh that comes out of your father in that moment is the sigh that comes out of Ackerman in this one. Yeah. We got confetti in the back. And he opens the door and kind of gestures with his head. He kind of like slaps his hand on Gary's shoulder and like gives you like a knowing look and say, sorry to hear about it.
Drew, the youngest of our group, is the father.
Thank you for your thoughts.
We'll describe him a little bit more completely now. His total description is he has thinning hair, like fluffy down on the back of a baby duck. He's got thick glasses magnifying his squinty eyes. He's meditatively hones a knife on a leather strap dangling from his belt. He has a flat, unaffected voice. And he seems rather afraid that he might lose Joy, and more broadly, that his way of life and entire community are threatened by this. He gestures for you to come in. It's a very sparse, it's not a dark room. It's lit by the large fire that's in the fireplace currently, but there's maybe a small table, a couple of glasses sitting on it. Behind you can see a bookcase with a handful of small books on it. Behind it on the wall, there's like a shotgun mounted. There's a handful of tools that are lying dirty in the corner by the door. There's a dark pair of boots that are caked in mud sitting just to the side of the doorway that you just walked in through. Ackerman, he offers his hand, I think to each of you in turn. He doesn't exclude any of you, but he does seem to recognize Gary as like a kindred spirit here dealing with these unruly kids. The name's Bulrush Ackerman. I go by Rush. There's a blight on these woods on our local community right now, and well, it seems to be infecting the minds of all the youngins. You from nearby, I assume, come here in search of answers?
Well, we're actually here for the skeleton ranch. We were heading there, but we thought we'd stop by to ask you some questions.
Oh, the skeletons. I don't leave much anymore. Things have been dangerous in the woods. Lots of people blame them.
Do you have any thoughts on that? Do you know what's going on?
Yeah, give me an investigation with presence. We're doing a lot of investigation with presence in this assignment.
That would be an 8.
We should use the thingamajig.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to, but we should. Don't forget.
Yeah, that would be a mixed success. But if you want, which means you'd get a clue, but there'd be a complication here. Probably in this case, I think the complication would be that I think Ackerman would start to like recognize you more as outsiders who are kind of sticking their nose where it doesn't belong, rather than people who are looking for some help, that sort of thing.
You also can use your own verses too, like verse of history. But
while Gary is talking to Rush, I don't want to be in a room where there's fire, so I think that I would probably head toward the back.
We'll see you, feet still a little bit damp from tramping through the mud and stuff.
Yeah, when he shakes my hand, he definitely gets a handful of mud.
Yeah.
I was going to say, we both were pretty covered in mud, if I remember.
You're both covered in mud. Pearl, I think, is still basically completely
Unless
naked.
we've done anything about it, she's still nude.
Yeah. I also think, though, that Rush Ackerman is the kind of person who's like, kids should be covered in mud and mostly nude. Like that's just being a kid.
Yeah.
Utterly unaffected.
Just running around in the nude, covered in mud. Typical
That's
kid
how
things.
I was in my day.
Oh, you kids living your true lives.
I still wish sometimes, there weren't so much work on the table that I too could run around in the forest covered in mud.
With or without clothes on.
I'm so excited to just be covered in glittering confetti.
Yeah, we'll pick up with you in a second. Do you want to write a verse or not, Gary?
What was this thing you're talking about that we can...
Well, I don't know if it's every mystery, but we do have one for this mystery. We have like an extra verse that is essentially like a free resource for us as a team to use.
Yeah, it's for each assignment.
Fuck it. Let's do it.
And so that could just bump us up. Or we could save it for something if we like really fucking fail. But I just don't want to forget about it, you know?
Yeah. So like the Dusk Mother one is the verse of the Dreaming Nest. Each custodian recalls a time they insulted themselves from the... Insulated. Fuck me. Each custodian recalls a time they insulated themselves from the cruel uncertainties of the outside world and what gave them solace in the darkness.
Well, I actually think in this moment, if we wanted to write a verse, a great option would be the one for Something Wonderful Just Outside of Town. Each custodian tells of a time when they considered abandoning their responsibilities and taking to the open road instead.
Oh, for the other mystery?
Yeah, because that one also I think could be interesting to get from everybody as
That's right. We have 2 mysteries we can use it for still.
Yeah.
2 different ones.
Oh, so you're telling the prodigal path.
Yeah, the prodigal path.
But everybody uses that, right?
Yeah, but that's true for all of them. The nice thing of the free ones is you don't use up your own supply, but the downside is everybody has to narrate for it.
So we all narrate it and then it boosts one result?
Yeah,
or is it
result.
like, okay.
Yeah.
What you gonna do, Dwo?
What do you want to do?
Let's do the verse of the prodigal path.
So each custodian tells of a time when they considered abandoning their responsibilities and taking to the open road instead. What do we think?
I think mine's definitely a little bit easier because we've already kind of set it up a little bit.
Mm-hmm. This could also be literally.
Mine's going to be literal, like it happened, because it did. Because it was which parish? Hetna Parish, where Gary was working at. And I think a little more insight with this into why Gary is where he is. For his main life of being a pox martyr is a handful of struggles that he kind of went through. And one in particular, I don't know if I'm going to go over all of them, but as Sister
Coral,
thank you, talked about, her and I did a lot of work together. We healed a lot of folks in the past, but I think for me, it kind of felt endless. It was just helping people, and it got to the point where people were abusing it. And similar to the conversation that we had at the meat plant, granted, I wouldn't say those people were abusing it. It got to the point where it was kind of borderlining that, and that's in that context. Gary abandoned his responsibilities there because he thought kind of enough was enough, and he wanted to help people, but he didn't want to just be a cattle for people, essentially. And he felt like that in his work with the Pox Martyr. And so I think his focus now is, he does want to help people, but there's other complications with that, which I won't get into, but it's trying to decide which person is the right person to help, but also which injury, illness, and whatnot is the right one to help with.
I like that.
Sisna had been shipped from orphanage to orphanage, foster home for foster home, and they had had enough. So they left and went on their own.
I'm having a hard time with this because I have a hard time thinking of what responsibilities Lune would have had. But I think similar to Sisna, there was a time in Lune's life where she was essentially like probably committed to some sort of home. I don't know if it was like partial orphanage, partial like mental institution.
St. Agatha's home for cursed and wayward
girls. Yeah, exactly.
There it is.
What is it called again, Emma?
Apparently it's St. Agatha's home for cursed and wayward girls. I feel like there's probably a better name than St. Agatha, but it's
St. Agatha's.
Luna came later after Sisna murdered us.
Sure. So Lune had been staying at this home for wayward girls, and at some point in time, I think she was maybe like around Pearl's age, we'll say, at the time. So she was a teenager, and she had fled the orphanage for a time. The people who worked there were having a hard time tracking her down, were searching for her. They eventually found her in like a cave in the woods where she was just cuddled up with Mr. Howl, and insisted that Mr. Howl had been taking care of her the whole time that she was missing. And she was missing for several weeks.
Well fed, though.
She was doing great. She was thriving. When they found her, they brought her back to the home, and that is where she stayed for an indeterminate amount of time after.
Oh, yeah. How about Pearl?
I actually think that there is a pattern in Pearl's life of any time that any of the parish of the Trawler man even has tried to get serious with her about her roles and responsibilities, and has tried to actually put any sort of expectations on her. I think that she has slowly slipped out of the house over to the river, and then they just never saw her again.
All right, so that makes it a 10, right?
Yeah, 10 plus. So full success. So then I owe you a clue. Gary, what was your question, Dan? Let's sink back into the scene, and then we'll...
What information does he know, or rumors that he's heard, or things that he's seen that in regards to the skeletons? Because his house is apparently nearby, and maybe he's seen them or things in the area or stuff of that matter.
He leans in close to you, and not so much conspiratorial, not so much suspicious, but he cozies up to you, Gary, almost as if he wants to make sure, were anybody else to be at the door, that they wouldn't overhear what he's about to say. And he looks furtively, kind of looks out the windows, and then he leans in. Sky gets real dark around here. Real dark, Gary. Sometimes on those dark nights, the skeletons will light a bonfire out back. They don't use dry wood. They don't use, the gifts of the forest or the sweat of their backs, lining up the chipboard to burn on the pyre. No. They burn something else for that. I gotta paint the scene question for you. This is gonna be just for you, Gary. What do the skeletons burn instead of wood at their house?
I did think in my head something flesh-like. Think of like meat masses that have fruiting spore bodies coming out of it.
Hell yeah.
Gross.
Like a raffleisha
Love
on
it.
crack.
It's like the mycelium that runs through the ground has intertwined with the flesh.
With the carcass.
And is now fruiting out of it.
So like fleshy mycelium.
Well, the fruiting body is not mycelium. But essentially just imagine meat chunks that you can't discern that have mushrooms growing out of them. You can't tell what it's come from.
So yeah, Rush Ackerman, he leans in close. He tells you, like when it's dark out, when you can't see the end of your own nose in the dark. You can't see the back of your own hand. They light fires over on the Ackerman property, and they don't use the fruit of the forest. They use what comes from under the ground. When things die in the forest out here, something gets in it. Something gets in it if you leave it there. And they take that which has been polluted, and they burn it in the darkest nights, and something circles overhead. So the clue that you get is that there's signs of an unlikely fuel source. They burn mycelium-infused flesh, fruiting with mushrooms. He says it quietly. He makes sure that... Lune, did you wander off with Pearl towards the back as well? Or are you hanging out in here?
He did say the confetti was...
He says the confetti was out
back.
back. Yeah.
I'm out back then.
I'm no longer in this conversation.
Fair. So yeah, he says it kind of just between the two of you. And he lets that sink in for you, and he says, what do you make of that?
Well, if you gotta make a fire, you make what you use what you can, but I've never heard of someone using, what'd you call it, mushroom meat?
He shakes his head from side to side. There ain't no farmer out here, no rancher who's short on wood. These forests are full of dry and dead logs. Perfect for kindling.
Do you happen to know where it comes from, what it is? Have you tried it?
He looks disgusted with you, lips pursed. No.
That's fair. I wouldn't either.
We cut from that to the back of the house. Lune, Pearl. There is a sea, as many as could be thrown together in an afternoon, I guess I should say, of cutouts of people. Ackerman is pretty clever with a jigsaw. We've got all these silhouettes of a crowd. There's a rope here on the back deck that you can pull on that makes them clap and kind of sway back and forth. There's a microphone set up here. And then in the center of all this, suspended, I think, in the same way you might have a rope swing suspended from a tall oak tree, you instead have a series of of stretchy cables wrapped around a waist harness that does appear to be kind of like locked in place around the dangling Joy Ackerman, who is bouncing happily from side to side in the air. Let's get her full description now that she's not being choked out by Sisna midair. Joy Ackerman, abandoned trapeze artist. Wiry like a clinging vine, long hair in a ponytail, coils of rope over their shoulder and around their waist, prone to long, shuddering sighs, loves to perch on swaying slack of rope or dangle upside down from it. So they're kind of bouncing around up here, hair blowing in the breeze. You can see that their legs are kind of like hanging loose. I imagine Joy is in some pain because I do think that both of their legs are broken.
Oh, Jesus.
They're like splinted and wrapped.
I was going to say, now Dad would make sure she's in a cast,
they're
right?
splinted and wrapped, but like Joy seems like unaffected. They still are like bouncing around, doing displays for the audience. And when the two of you come out, do you want to get Joy's attention or do you not? Do you want to let them do their thing while you look around, or what do you want to do?
I mean, this is not exactly anything like what we were expecting when we came out here. You know, Lune and Pearl, of course, don't know that a circus is in town. So lady in the air doing cool moves, even if she has her legs in casts, is probably going to get both of our attention, I imagine.
Mm-hmm. We walk out and we like both stop and like stare at like what's happening, and we just like at least Lune, like my jaw just like opens and I just like turn to Pearl like wide-eyed like oh my God.
I think we have a brief moment where the clouds have broken up just enough for the moon to kind of filter in almost like a spotlight on Joy here as the last of the daylight has finally faded off. We get like a short little performance from them, a speech to the audience. And Joy speaks with sweeping gestures, bouncing from side to side on these on this makeshift knot trapeze as she swings. My whole childhood was spent in the dirt, turning over soil, hoping crops would grow. The same 4 seasons bouncing over and over and over again. But inside that magical tent, I could fly. I was free. Oh, I need to get back there. I need to get back there. And she's wraps up in like a little spinning thing where she gains height because the bungees wrap around themselves, and then she spins back down, bounces a few times. And that's when she notices the two of you. And she flips to be hanging upside down, rotating her body over. And she looks at you, hair dangling. Why, hello! A new audience! Oh, have you come to see the show?
I also flip my hair like head upside down so that I'm looking at her right side up.
Was there a circus in town?
Oh, not was. It's still here. I can feel it in my bones. It's nearby. I need to get back there. Have you seen it?
No.
What's a circus?
What's a circus? She's bouncing up and down in delight, her still dangling upside down. Why, it's the most wonderful place on earth. It's a place of delights, of joy, of laughter, of tasty food, of beautifully decorated bodies and smiles. It's incredible.
And confetti.
She like throws her arms to the side and like a few pieces still like fall from her tattered uniform. So much confetti.
Pearl's eyes follow the confetti like predatory fish would follow a silvery bait hook. Okay, how do we get there?
You follow the call, or you find a ticket. I wish it were that way for me. I just stumbled upon it, and I was taken in by the beauty, by the grace, by what I could be if I wasn't, just stuck here in the dirt, you know?
Is it because you broke your legs you're stuck? What happened there?
Oh, goodness, no. I don't need my legs to fly. There was a bit of an incident with the trapeze, but it's fine. It's, I'm here now, but I'll make it back. I'm not staying here. Your audience is nice, though. Well,
I mean, I look over at Lune. We could help if you want to go to the circus.
I feel the call. I can go back. I just need to. I'm almost done with my performance here, you see, and then I'll talk to my father. But he doesn't seem as excited to come and see me in my true element.
Can I climb up there?
Sure. She holds out her arms to pick you up like you would do in a trapeze act. She says, I was just doing this earlier today. It was wonderful, delightful, the rush of the wind flying through my hair. But that guest to the circus was not nearly as delightful as you, Lune.
Oh, really? What was that guest like?
Well, Joy, like, again, we see the same view, but now between Lune and Joy instead of Sisna and Joy. Her head is upside down facing you, her mouth practically in your ear. They wore a mask and tried to choke me. It was fine.
Oh, that's my friend Sisna, I think.
Really? I didn't catch their name or apparently read their mind for it. I don't know how this works.
They're like that with everyone. They're a very physical person.
Really? Huh. Mm-hmm. They did a wonderful role after I released them. So they've got quite the skills. They should really make their way to the big top.
Did they go to the circus?
Well, we were on our way back to the circus grounds when something came through. Something happened to the ropes, but it's okay. I'm sure that they'll have it repaired by the time I'm there next.
Well, can you see it from here? And I when we get on the upswing or whatever, I'm looking to see if there's anything in the distance I can spot.
Let's do insight, I think.
10 again. I rolled a 6 and a 3 and I have a +1.
Nice.
We're doing good.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get a lay of the land, see if I see anything, whether it's something related to the circus or if it's even the Skeleton family ranch, because I know they're around here. Do I see anything that seems out of place?
Yeah. There's so many good ones. I think you see a depression in the woods. As you swing to the height, you're above the edge of the tree line a little bit. It's mostly clear around the Ackerman's ranch anyway, aside from the trees that are left on the property to ring it. That's whether we had the ones along the roadway where the trapeze was caught. But you can see that off where the forest begins again, there's actually almost immediately a large depression. It's got a lot of those same streamers and banners kind of stuck to it. The trees are parted and pushed aside. There's a path through the woods that's been kind of carved over there and is littered with this cartoonish debris. That's the clue you get. For context from asking this of Joy, as you get to the top, I think she's still holding onto your arm with one hand. So almost dangerously, she kind of gestures with you that direction generally. And she says, I can feel it over there. All I need to do is, and she swings back down. As she passes the ground, she gently deposits you with a plop there. And I think there's some scattered hay below. You tumble and roll. And she finishes her movement. All I need to do is get boing, boing, boing back.
So the clue is that there's a path spotted in the woods.
Yeah, off in the woods, there's a fresh path that's been carved that looks to be littered with the same detritus.
Not knowing this, Pearl is probably looking around for the best way to get Joy out of this contraption.
Yeah, I mean, you can see that this oak here, probably the best way if you can break those bungees that she's suspended by.
I've got dental files.
Yeah, that could probably work.
Between my teeth and the dental files.
Unlike the tree you climbed earlier, which was maybe, 8 or 10 feet of scrabbling, this oak is up there. I think probably this rope, the rope was already here suspended, and Ackerman just added the bungees to the tension point. So this is a fair bit of climbing. I think this is dangerous enough of a situation, and it's dark out. It's night.
Okay.
This is going to be a veiled move. What are you worried is going to happen if you fail or lose your nerve?
I mean, I'm probably afraid I would fall. That's probably the best I can do for you at the moment.
I think that's pretty reasonable. Reasonable fear. This is going to be with vitality. How'd you do, Pearl?
Well, I'm trying to figure out if there's a way I can give myself advantage.
You said you have the dental files you could use.
Oh, my God.
Boxcars?
6?
Triple
1.
boxcars.
Whoa!
So if I got to use all 3, that would be 18. But of course.
Yeah.
No, but it is a 12.
That is excellent. So you're going to succeed and get a situational benefit. Yeah. Pearl, you're good at climbing trees.
Yeah, I am.
You're good at scrabbling across logs. You're good at swimming. These are all things you're good at.
Perversely, the mud actually gives me better grippage.
I think it's starting to dry on your skin, and it's almost like you've chalked up your whole body. You don't even need to Mulan this shit where you got the rope to go around. You just bear body on like a monkey.
Yeah, I just scramble up.
Yeah, you just hop on that tree and climb. You make it up to the top. Did you use your files? Is that what you used?
I think the idea was that I was using the files to help get through the bungees. But I could have also, like, I don't know.
Using it like pittance or whatever.
You climb regardless. You're very skilled at that. I think once you get to the top, you do start using the files. You climb down a little bit of the rope to where the bungees start. And then
Bro, it doesn't matter. All 3 dice were a 6.
That's what I'm saying. I think you cut it. Joy, who is presently upside down when you do, she falls the remaining maybe 10 feet down to the ground, where she catches herself on her hands doing a handstand like a fucking professional.
Good catch.
Her broken leg's still in the air. Her body's doing that sort of like arched thing to provide her balance. And I think without even saying another word, maybe a quick like, thanks. She's still like kind of dragging some bungees behind her. She starts walking on her hands towards the woods.
Wait. And like I grab onto the bungee.
Well, you are dangling from a rope at the top of this tree. It'll take you a second to get down.
Right. That's true. Not that long if I use the bungees.
That's true. Well, yeah, I guess you could we could, you get a situational benefit here. Yeah, I think like you went down far enough on the bungees before you cut that you have some left and you kind of like stretch it and then bounce down and you drop yourself down. You are fleet and light of foot like a cat. You land on the ground, 3-point landing or roll, whatever you think is best.
Definitely a roll because then she gets somewhat covered in confetti.
I think the benefit you get here is that Joy has been freed and currently we see through the window that Gary is talking with Rush and he seems to be none the wiser that you have done this yet. Joy is walking off on her hands towards the woods. Pearl, you've made it back to the ground. Luna, you're also here on the ground. What do you do before I pick back up with Gary and then we'll close out this scene?
I mean, I'm going to follow Joy to the circus.
I think Sisna also went there.
I feel so bad about this.
Poor Gary. I think Lune might like run back into the house to be like,
Gary, we're going to the circus.
What?
Gary, I think Rush has invited, like you're both like sitting at the table. He's like poured you both a cup of tea or coffee or something. Warm milk, hot water, I don't know, whatever you're drinking. As they say, we're going to the circus, he spits out his drink towards the fire. No, it's definitely alcohol because I want the fire to flare up.
Yeah.
Whiskey. The circus? Where's Joy?
Oh, I don't know. I think she started to walk on her hands.
He, with a panic, gets up. It's at this point that you notice that Rush Ackerman, he walks with like a little bit of a limp. You haven't seen him move around very much, but he gets to the back door and he looks out. And I think Joy is like halfway across the field, Pearl in tow, walking on her hands like it's as natural as walking on her feet was. Joy! Joy! Get back here! He's yelling from the doorway. It's like, I think you can immediately see that he cannot move as fast as she can, even on her hands. He looks at you, Gary. Go and get her for me, would you?
Where do you know where she's heading?
Circus.
Where's this circus? What if I lose her? Where do I go?
There's a path that goes all the way to the circus, like breadcrumbs.
Well, I think Lune and I will head over there. We'll go make sure that Joy's okay and try to bring her back.
He grabs your shirt a little bit. Please.
I'm just going to look at him and nod my head.
He'll let you go. The group of you head off towards the woods. Above table, are we all going over to this other assignment right now? Or are...
We're going to get in so much trouble with bias.
Well, here's what I'll say there. Coming to and from with assignments is like absolutely something that happens in this game. If you leave assignments alone for too long, stuff happens while you're gone. It would be totally in line with the mood and intentions of this game if you were to be like, all right, we're like halfway through what we want to do with this one.
We'll come back to that later.
We're going to go to the circus for a little bit, and we'll probably, once we finish that, we'll end up back here or something.
I think that's fair.
To be fair, David literally stole Sisna, so
I did do that.
Yeah,
he can't be harsh to us on this. I mean, come on.
In my defense, I did get a hard move on that one, and it was the coolest thing to do.
So yeah, I think we're at this point. We're all planning on going to the circus. We'll be there for a little bit.
And if anything, it might help us with this, with the skeleton ranch.
The one thing I will add is while Gary and Rush are sitting at the table together, I want to introduce a snippet of that discussion because this will introduce our third assignment, which will be our cap for now, for the total number we can hold at a time. While the two of you are at this table, Rush talks you through like his plan for trying to rehabilitate Joy and how he's like tried everything to try to like get this circus off of her mind. And for now, he's just kind of like pacified her in the hopes that eventually it'll wear off. But he told you about how, in in a couple weeks' time, if this still hasn't blown over and Joy's still craving to go to the circus and not like trying to do, her work around the farm, that he's thinking about taking her here. And he shows you a newspaper article. And here's where I'm just going to pick up from the explanation for our other assignment. The Miraculous Clinic of the Bleeding Witness. A recent article in the Central Glottage Herald claims that unsanctioned miracles are being performed in an abandoned rural hospital by followers of several false faith gods. The adjudicators have released a press statement ahead of any public outcry, while quietly dispatching the usual array of lying martyrs and propaganda saints to tie up loose ends. But continued pressure from hospital shareholders and increasing demands for a full investigation has brought this case to the Custodians. You've been provided with the necessary credentials to visit the clinic as inspectors and will be given access to tour the facility, yada, yada, yada. But he indicates to you that he intends to take her to this clinic, the Miraculous Clinic of the Bleeding Witness, that's outside of, a couple hours outside of Glottage, down further south than where you are now, to try and heal her of this ailment. I do have a paint the scene question for the Custodians, or an establishing question, I guess. What breakthrough medical advances and miraculous cures are rumored to be performed at the clinic? This could be part of that article that we see him show Gary.
Okay, follow me.
Yeah.
I guess I don't know if this is like... Okay.
Oh boy.
Pregnancies can now be carried by men.
Hell yeah.
Whoa.
I mean, let it pass on to me.
Yeah.
Seahorse this bitch.
Let's get Gary pregnant.
Medical.
Could Gary put his hand on someone and take their condition of pregnancy? I have become mother.
It's physical.
We have established that in order to take the barbed wire injury from the dude, that he had to take the surface area of the barbed wire injury, meaning that his arm got swole when he took it. So there is at least a little bit of a transference of the body part.
I think I would say that is certainly beyond the scope of your average run-of-the-mill member of...
Let it pass on to me.
Yeah.
You'd have to train specially in being a surrogate.
I would say that sounds definitely like a miracle. Something that would be in this article that they're able to perform.
Okay.
Yeah.
So men can also birth babies. Cool.
Pregnancies can now be carried by men is on the list. Hilariously, Miah, you don't even know. That's kind of a gift to me. That's kind of a gift you just gave me.
That's super exciting.
We'll see if it matters, but it could be.
It could.
I think there's maybe something with people that maybe have died, maybe aren't so dead anymore.
Now, that's a really dodgy way of saying you think people are coming back to life. Is that correct?
Yeah.
The recently dead can be revived.
What's the restriction on this, or is there one? Is it just the recently dead? Is it?
There should be a time
recently
constraint
dead.
to it.
We're only recently dead.
He's only mostly dead.
You have the wake period.
Mm-hmm.
Could be like, has to be within the wake period.
We could go like straight up curing, blindness or deafness or something of that sort.
Yeah.
A total sensory renewal.
There you go.
Total
like
sensory renewal.
I love that.
It covers everything with your eyes, your ears, your nose, your voice, mouth, all. Yeah.
And something they only refer in the article as the true cure.
I'm going to say the true cure : panacea.
Yeah.
And then I have a follow-up question for if we have a custodian who either follows the Pox Martyr or the Cairn Maiden, of which we do. What makes you suspect that the clinic is turning its patients into immortal saints?
Can you define immortal saints in the context of this game?
Yeah. Sanctification is something that can happen to you if you have offerings that can be given to the gods in a sacrificial sense. But then you also have people who brush in close enough to a god, or as kind of like the final aspect of them being in service to them, who can be sainted, turned into a saint by them. So you can think of angels usually, I think, in this setting more as an aspect of that god that is acting and doing something. And then saints are people who have been transformed and are now major servitors of the god or deity. So they're people who have been transformed into something miraculous or horrible, depending.
My first thought as a Pox Martyr as to me thinking people are being turned into immortal saints is that all of these rumors of the things that they're fixing are things that we were taught at the parish are not really things that you can fix. or can do or can perform. And it kind of goes against the Poxmartyr
creed.
Not necessarily the creed, because I don't want to, because that makes it sound like these are things that are forbidden.
Sure.
Like philosophy, or
I think it's more of the history of things that have been done, and these have never been done. So it's not as if these are taboo by any means.
It's just there's been no precedent for it.
Yeah.
I like to think of the Poxmartyrs. I have no idea what the actual history is with it.
We're establishing our own for sure.
They work more based on factual things and things that they have seen, because, you know, the whole idea of seeing is believing. They're taking those diseases and doing these physical things. It's more of that physical world for their god and how they see it and embrace it. And so I think these things are like, this has never happened before. And I think it's also that even people have tried this and it hasn't worked.
Right.
So I think there's that backing up as well.
It's like people talking about doing open heart surgery before anybody had done a successful open heart surgery.
Yes.
It just seems
people
like it's a thing that people do.
And have not succeeded.
Yeah.
Which doesn't mean it couldn't happen. I think there's also a level of risk involved that has happened, that people have tried these things and bad things have happened.
A lot of Poxmartyrs have paid the price for trying to do something like this in the past.
Yeah. Like, for example, taking a pregnancy. What I would imagine, if your body is not built for it and all of a sudden you have a mass in your body that everything is pushed to the side and moved around, and you're like, it's almost as if like your organs are twisted into a mass.
That's awful, and I don't like it.
That's actually what happens to women's bodies.
Yes, but ours are not made. Yeah. And by twisted to a mass, I also mean like your little lungs and your stomach are being tied in a bow and then like melding together.
DIY uterus.
Essentially, it tries to make all your organs into one giant uterus.
Yeah.
Well, like I imagine coming back from the dead on any level, it's like, okay, either these people were not actually dead. The only way that somebody is going to come back anything like who they were before is if there is some deification.
Perfect. We had this bit of conversation. I think when we get this scene is we see that the newspaper article is still clutched in your hand, that you'd carried it with you from the table. And then we flash back to that scene of you talking with him about that before picking up with you and Lune running, I imagine, kind of full speed to try to catch up with Pearl and Joy, who are both moving unnaturally fast through these fields.
I'd like to imagine that Gary is running like, you know, someone who's hiked before, got a good like sprint/jog going, and Lune is like skipping really fast and like singing at the same time.
Off to the circus. We're off to the circus.
Howl swinging in one hand.
Yeah.
And I think what we'll do is we'll see first Joy and Pearl, and then shortly after, Lune and Gary disappear into the woods. Our camera will pull up higher so that you can see the impression that they're heading towards, the strewn confetti and flags and peanut shells that are up ahead. We cut from the group entering the forest directly to their destination, to the festival of beauty and weirdness that is the circus where you find yourself, Sisna. When we last left off with you, you were heading along the midway, trying to make your way towards the big top. Is that correct?
Yes, I'm trying to get to the big top.
Now, I can't remember, because I definitely would have, when you were trying to head from there towards the big top, did we make you roll to see how well that was going to work out for you? Because the midway is intentionally confusing and stuff, and so I'd probably make sure you did that, but I can't remember.
I have trying to get to the big top at the midway, but it is difficult. Does that help?
I think you had them roll for the game that got them the clue.
That's true. And then I think you just walked off at the end of that.
Well, because you also narrated a couple scenes last time. You used, I think, 2 different verses, so maybe that was because you had a mixed success on finding your way.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, I did not roll great last session.
Yeah. I can't remember. I don't think we have yet. I don't think we have had you roll specifically to find your way out of the midway. So,
I mean, if it helps, I'm either looking for, because I'm assuming I've been like walking and just making no progress. And so I'm going to probably approach the nearest or first either hot dog man or other like carnival circus worker that I see.
Oh, you know there's a hot dog man.
We pick back up with you in the hubbub of the Midway. We described it previously as denying you direct line of sight to any other part of the circus. It is just an absolute throng of people and attractions and barkers, all manner of incredibly weird and strange outfits and demonstrations. There's fire being breathed, there's knives being thrown, there's people suspended by their teeth from a rope spinning around like a maypole. There's like all sorts of weird shit going on here. Sisna, I do believe that this area, the Midway, is intentionally designed to keep you from getting anywhere else in particular, or certainly of finding your way to anywhere you're trying to go. What I'm going to ask you to do is I'm going to actually ask for a revelation move for you to get to wherever you'd like to be. It sounds like you have a couple of approaches here. You could either use your insight to try to figure out where to go. You could use your focus to ignore all the distractions, or you could use presence to try to talk to somebody and get proper directions. What do you think your approach is? And then once you've established that, what are you worried is going to happen if you fail or lose your nerve?
Yeah, I'm going to use my focus and probably step aside from the pathway for a second and just watch and inspecting if there are any patterns or paths. Worst case scenario, that I might have to approach someone and ask for directions.
I think how it's worse than that is if you do have to approach someone, they will absolutely lead you to the wrong location. They will instead lead you to wherever they want to take you. And the reason why this is a revelation move and not just a normal veiled move is in this place, the impacts of such a misdirection can be remarkable, I'll say. Just a teaser, I have a location that is called the Clown Shed.
Yep, I saw that.
So let's get that roll.
That looks like it's going to be a 10.
Yay!
That's our third 10 of the day. We're doing great. You step back, Sisna, you focus, you cut out the distractions, you start looking for patterns, you don't let yourself be pulled in by the pageantry, the sensationalism of it all. And instead, you lock in, Sisna. You stop paying attention to where the people are going and you start paying attention to where some of the staff are going. You start paying attention to where the parcels are moving. You start paying attention to where the coiled ropes are being carried, the boxes are being moved. I think you start to follow them instead.
Follow the money, Sisna. It's always the money.
I think we get one more shot as you finish eyeing the crowd and you pick your path and you pick your mark. You see a musician with a bowl-shaped haircut. They've got a cigar box guitar and they got a toad in their pocket with a little badge below it that says Mr. Rob-a-da-Bank. They're kind of strumming their instrument as they move along, but they don't seem to be putting on a show. That just seem to be idly doing that. And otherwise, they're following the rest of a group of staff here at the circus who are moving through the crowds headed somewhere else. And so you slip in naturally behind this musician and you begin to follow them. Our eyes do linger once again, though, that as you begin to follow them, we do see, you know how there's that bit in comedies where they'll have somebody watching someone else and they'll have them in increasingly outrageous outfits or odd places, secretly being there watching you. We tilt the camera up to see that maypole I described earlier where there's people with their teeth holding onto a rope spinning around, and one of them is the hot dog man, and we see you reflected in their yellow and their mustard yellow and ketchup red sunglasses as they spin around the pole.
Horrifying.
Yes, Sisna, you follow this musician. You hear him strumming along on his little guitar. His little pet frog, he croaks along in tune with the music. Let's pick up with the journey scene in the woods. So the four of you, Lune, Gary, Pearl, and Joy, who is still hand-standing her way to success, you are tromping through the woods. I think you can see that Joy's hands are starting to get kind of thorned out and little sticks and brambles that she's picking up along the way, but she seems unbothered. She's heading to the circus. She's dead set on it. She marches along, feet waving above her in the air as she walks forwards. And as the four of you are moving through the woods, you notice off to the side a shrine. Emma, would you please describe this shrine for us? What do we see?
This shrine is about half the size of a normal person, and it's made out of some sort of hard sand or limestone, and it's in the shape of a crescent moon. And there's a little slab built into it in order to leave offerings or incense, candles, that sort of thing. I think there's an eye carved into the top of the crescent moon, close to one of the points, close to the top point.
Question for Lauren. Does it appear to have been interacted with?
I think so. Maybe the candles were replaced a while ago, but they're still pretty full candles. Somebody hasn't been here a while, but you can see that there were old residue of old wax that has burned away from previous people that have been here. So somebody has clearly come to replace the candles, but they haven't been actually burnt recently.
There's moss that's grown over the old wax.
Yeah. If you go to a graveyard and there's the caretakers that go and they will clear out old flowers and things like that. I kind of thinking of it as that vibes. It's sort of been maintained, but also it's giving away a little bit to the elements.
Yeah. Excellent. Question for Drew. How does the landscape respond to this shrine?
My original thought, I don't know why, but everything that you can see around this shrine, the candles, the stone, everything, it obviously depends on the time of day and where the sun and the light is, but nothing is casting a shadow.
Oh. Well, Lune is 100% convinced this has to do with Mr. Howl because he's all about shadows and the moon.
Miah, you've said the Trawler man for the next question. What kind of god do you believe the shrine invokes?
Yeah.
Do you think that follows really from the description so far?
I wouldn't say no, because the river and the water do follow the pull of the moon.
This feels to me not if the Trawler man weren't such an established god within the setting, I think I'd be happy to make some flexibility around it, but Trawler man is kind of big known business.
Okay, Dad.
Give us something fresh, hot off the presses, off your dome.
So I think that the shrine belongs to some sort of guide or path. I don't know. I named it the Wayward Guide.
I like that.
Name might be clear because we've all traveled. This just gives me a feeling of we're on a path, we're going somewhere. And people would probably often pray to a being that would show us the way. And so it's, something along the a guide or path. But I don't want it to hint that it's going to show you the right way or the wrong way.
Yeah, it just shows you a way.
It's mischievous-ish.
Yeah.
That's why it's called the Wayward Guide.
Mm-hmm.
Great. That brings us to the recall times. So we've got a question just kind of for each of you to mull over for us to see from you here. What small act of worship did you perform in a place no one else could see? Lune, Pearl, Gary.
We flash back to Pearl vomiting up a bunch of fish from the fountain into some water.
As everybody's kind of approaching this shrine, maybe Gary or Pearl, if they have caught up to one another, they look back to see, because Lune was kind of straggling behind, was skipping and wasn't running like Gary. They turn and she's actually not there. Flashback just to a few minutes ago. She pulled off to try to see if she could find Mr. Howl. And in order to do that, to kind of get in touch with him, she has to get separate from everybody else. She peels off into the woods. She can kind of hear Gary yelling after Pearl in front of them, and you can hear them echoing through the woods. But she pulls off into the woods by herself, and she finds maybe a little outcropping from a cave or something, and she kind of hunkers down inside of it, and she pulls out her music box and opens it up. It starts to play this little haunting sort of tune. In the center of the music box, there is a little wolf figurine that moves around looks like it's howling at the moon. And Lune's act of worship that she does is that she kind of emulates, she's dancing like the wolf and kind of circles up. Because I think you mentioned the moon was out. And so she actually has her hands raised up towards the moon. Okay, Mr. Howl, where are you? It's been a while. And is dancing. I think she sees a flash of what she had seen previously to when she had left him with the mycologist. And she sees just a flash of red, flinches when she sees that. She stops dancing. She swears she hears a little growl. And she looks around. And sure enough, in the cave behind her, Mr. Howl is waiting for her. She's kind of breathing a little heavier because she sees the body of Cletus has also been dragged into this cave. And she picks up Mr. Howl and she kind of like wipes off a little bit of stray blood that maybe has like gotten on his white coat. And she's just like, it still won't come out, Mr. Howl. It's okay. We'll wipe it out. Nobody has to know. And then like she maybe hears like people calling her name and she's like, coming. And then she runs up and gathers herself, tries to anyway, and arrives at the shrine with everybody else and sees the little moon shrine. And yeah, she thinks that this is a shrine to Mr. Howl.
Love that. And it does capture both. Great. Love that. Drew, how about you?
I think Gary, he's just gonna walk over to the altar and light the candles.
If the custodians choose to interact with the shrine by leaving an offering, examining for information, destroying it, etc., trigger a revelation move. What are you worried is going to happen here when you light these candles?
I guess that the candles don't light.
Yeah.
That's about it.
I think how it's worse than that is you will attract the attention in a serious way of something, yet another thing that is possibly out here. Like you've already, encountered there's this strange something fell from the sky with this helicopter. There's like clearly something weird going on with this circus nearby. There is something that is flying through the skies at the behest or related to the skeletons. And there's like the mushrooms and the mycelium. And now maybe there's something else too. I think that's just the extent of the risk currently. Go ahead and roll with communion, Gary.
So I did have an 11, but now it's a 10.
Another 10. Y'all, this session's going so good for us. I'm so excited for the one that doesn't.
I mean, I feel like last session was the session where everything went wrong.
Yeah, fair. It says they encounter a clue. It doesn't say stumble on a clue, which is the usual language for you introducing one yourself. But I'll give you the option. Would you like to add a clue yourself here? Or would you like me to give you one from one of the active threats?
When you tell me to make one, do I get to choose?
Yes.
Just give me one.
Which one do you want it for? I'll let you choose.
Any preference, anybody?
Something wonderful just outside of town, or Dusk Mother, or hell, I could give you something from the Miraculous Clinic of the Bleeding Witness, but that's a little ways off.
I mean, do we have any clues? What do we have? We've got 3 or 4 for Dusk Mother, right?
We have 3 unused ones.
For the Dusk Mother, and then we have 2 for...
Something Wonderful. But we're definitely going to pick up more Something Wonderful once we get to the circus.
Yeah, I'm kind of inclined to do one for the Dusk Mother, but as we are leaving that place, let's at least get one more clue, because then we at least have 4 clues, so we'd be rolling even if we...
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Let's do Dusk Mother then.
I will say, looking at the first question of Something Wonderful just outside of town, where is the circus located, does lead me kind of to believe that I don't know if I can take you all the way to it. We'll probably have to hit another one of the locations that aren't part of the circus, because I think you need to answer that question before you can try to go there yourself. Which if we gave you one more question, that would only put you at a -1 for that roll, which is not bad.
Don't listen to him, Drew.
The Dusk Mother.
All right. Yeah, here's what I'm going to give you. I like this one. You light the candles. Once those candles are lit, we're seeing the moonlight intermittently right now. The clouds periodically cross over it, dimming the sky, darkening your view here. But as you light the candles around this, no longer is the moon just kind of peeking through the clouds. The moonlight comes in fast and furious. The clouds like break over wherever the moon is. Its light comes cascading down. It's a full moon tonight. It's the brightest it's been the entire time you've been in Weft. Even during the daylight, the full moonlight is brighter than the sun obscured by clouds here in Weft. That's just how dark it is most of the time. With the moonlight bathing this scene, you notice just a little bit beyond where you are now, the direction not from which you came, but further eastward than that. I think I described earlier the location of the skeletons as being east of town. It's more along the way that you had gone down the road. So this is towards the direction of wherever Skeleton's Ranch is. You see that there are signs in the woods that you would have just walked past otherwise, probably just completely ignored them given how dark it is out here. But they're hand-painted signs that warn trespassers, quiet, Mother sleeps. You see another one, Mother protects us, along with another one, warning, these premises patrolled by a licensed guardian saint.
Beware of saint.
Yes, exactly. So you see these signs soon after you light those candles and the moonlight rains down, it's maybe just a couple of minutes later, there is no wind, but the candles blow out and the moonlight just as quickly, the clouds pull back in and its light is once again obscured.
David, my condition for Mr. Howl's Hungry has been fulfilled now, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Is my condition gone? Is my arm better?
Well, I gotta. If for anyone else who wants to clear conditions, you gotta do that. You gotta do the stuff. You gotta have a scene with one of your fellow custodians if you want to clear it the traditional way. Although you can't clear physical conditions the traditional way, you gotta do the other stuff. Shredded. Actually, I say that for you, Gary. Both Shredded Arm and Sister Coral has work for you. I think are both cleared now.
Ciao.
Because you completed her work. Also, because you completed the work, you clear one. Yeah.
If only it wasn't taken away.
It's okay. We'll be with you soon.
Yeah, Lune has rejoined you guys at the shrine, and she kind of is like clutching Mr. Howl closely to her.
Pearl is practicing walking on her hands like Joy.
The three of you move on in the darkness, continuing towards Joy, who has already marched off on up ahead. Let me pick up with Sisna, because you rolled very well, so you're headed straight to the largest tent.
I want to approach the musician.
Yeah, while you're walking along.
Mr. Robin de Bank.
Yeah. That's the name of the frog, but...
Oh.
Okay, I was going to ask for that clarification.
Yeah. So the name tag is for the frog, not for him.
Oh, well, boo.
But yeah, you tap them on the shoulder. You could address them like that, and we could have a scene. What do you want to do?
Sisna is going to approach this musician from behind and grab their shoulder and turn them towards them.
I think they like spin around on their heel. They strum a like dun 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 on the guitar. Hey, what do you need? What can I do for you?
I hold up my ticket. Take me here.
They lean in close. Oh, big shot over here. You got a ticket to meet the big man. So you've already seen the sights? You don't want another bucket of popcorn, a hot dog, or...
No, I want to go to the big top.
Well, hey, that's exactly where I'm going right now. We're about to set up for the next show if you want to join in.
Sorry, was I not clear?
You want to go to the big top? That's where we're going.
Okay.
They lean down. I'll tell you, Mr. Rob the Bank, this one's a tough customer. Hey, watch out for Mr. Rob the Bank.
Who?
He's not to be trifled with. Nah, I'm just messing. He's my singing partner when the mood strikes him. When he's not thinking about crime. Ain't that right, Mr. Rob the Bank? And you hear he goes, Rabbit.
Do I need to be concerned about that little thing?
No, of course not. Unless you should be. Who's to say? Isn't that right, Mr. Rob the Bank?
Where's the frog on this person?
They're like in a chest pocket.
Okay, Sisna's going to lean extremely close up to the frog.
We see your pallid mask as you lean in close.
Yeah, just evaluating this frog. Is there anything of note about this frog?
Oh boy. No, you must give me an investigation move for that. This is the information move, and you should do it with insight, please.
Okay.
Or I'll say insight, or if you want this to get weird, communion.
Okay. I will do communion.
Okay.
And I rolled a 7. Could you tell me what might happen if I do not take a verse?
I think the mixed success here is Mr. Rob the Bank will hop out of the pocket and he will hop onto your shoulder, and that's where he will remain for now. You will gain the condition Traveling Companion, Mr. Rob the Bank.
This is a penalty?
Yes. Let me put it this way. You rolled with communion. Mr. Rob the Bank is going to make things weird real fast.
That's fine. I think I'm going to stick with that. I'm happy to have a little frog on my shoulder. But I do have 3 conditions currently. So does that replace something or?
Yeah. So your options when this happens is you can either write a verse to prevent it, obviously, or in this case, if you'd like to continue with the consequence, you can replace one of your conditions with the new one and you still have to write a verse.
Okay.
That's the problem with being full on conditions.
That's totally fine. Do I get to choose which condition?
In this case, I'll probably choose it. You're keeping Marked for the Hot Dog Man. I'll replace Abducted by the Circus.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Companion, Mr. Rob the Bank. And you can always pick which verse you write later. It doesn't have to be right now.
Yeah, I'll pick a verse later.
And you do get a clue here.
Oh.
Because you did
Cool.
an information move. So you'll get a clue.
Oh.
And you got a mixed success.
What else do you need? You got a frog.
Oh, I mean, this is what I'm going to do. Yeah. Let's do that one. So the clue is just an overheard conversation. That's a lot of peanuts. Like, again, we see your mask inches away from this frog that is maybe 1/3 the size of just your mask, let alone the rest of your person. Our camera is sideways. We've got just your profile of both of you. And then Mr. Rob the Bank with his little frog head, he leans in close to you. That's a lot of peanuts. You look down and you see like there's like a bag of peanuts that somebody has dropped there on the ground. And then when you look back up, Mr. Rob the Bank is gone from the pocket and is now sitting on your shoulder. And the musician, now that Mr. Rob the Banks is gone, you can see that underneath behind his head, there was another sewn name tag. And this one is for them. You see it says Katie Fronts. Katie like kind of shakes their head and strums, dun dun dun, Mr. Rob the Banks. We've been together for 20 years now. But, you know, when you find greener pastures, you find greener pastures, I guess. Well, you're coming to the big top. Maybe I'll see you off there. We'll have ourselves a proper celebration.
Do you want it back?
They, like, hold their hands up, their guitar still slung around their neck, but plaintive, almost like a dear God, no sort of look on their face. And they say, no. What Mr. Rob the Banks chooses, Mr. Rob the Banks gets.
Well, nods for Katie to lead the way.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, ticket to the big man, got Mr. Rob the Banks. Fucking shit. They turn around and they lead you along the path, playing their guitar happily as they go, or sadly, or with some emotion. They're playing it emotively as they go.
Do you have to?
They stop. Have to what?
Play?
Yes.
Could you do better?
Katie Fronts, musician, looks at you for perhaps the first time really through their bowl haircut bangs, kind of like eyes wide. I could try.
Well, go on. Or maybe you have a different instrument?
Well, and they like dig around in the pocket that Mr. Rob the Banks was in and they pull out a harmonica. Better?
I guess it could be worse.
All right. And they start playing the harmonica happily as they go.
As I follow Katie, I'm going to pick up the frog from my shoulder and hold it in my hand and just analyze it, look at it. I'm just deep in thought. Going through my brain is like, is this frog a saint? Is it actually a person? Should I kill this frog? Is this frog has it been captured and imprisoned in this circus? Just all these thoughts and questions going on in my mind.
Does my god need frog legs?
Honestly, like, is this a big enough morsel for the beast to be satisfied with?
And I think as you stare into the eyes of Mr. Rob the Banks stares back. And Sisna, you feel bubbling out of your throat just a little bit, the urge to rib it.
No. Put the frog back on.
It's not overwhelming. It doesn't take you over or anything, but you feel it.
I am not prey, and put the frog back onto my shoulder.
You continue to head towards the big top. We'll pick back up with the three down in the forest. It's very dark. You haven't reached the circus yet. You don't hear any music. You're marching through the forest. Joy still feels very led, like she knows exactly where she's going. But it's getting quite dark. You were told multiple times by our hunter at the petrol station that these woods could be fairly dangerous. Like, I think you even occasionally hear a distant flapping of something flying around in the night. Do you want to try to make a camp or something? Or do you want to try to continue on?
If we decide to make a camp, do we need to roll?
It will depend on how the scene shapes up. I've got a couple of ideas for where this could go. We could have this be kind of more of an invested thing, in which case then probably, because we do have an active danger that's part of this, especially when things are night outside.
I have something that could keep us safe.
Yeah? What do you have?
Well, yes. I assume that this is Gary asking me.
Yes. David is now Gary.
The voice in the sky is asking Lune what she's got.
Well, I have this. And I pull out my glowing nightlight orb that can maybe float in the sky that I have for my altar.
That's right.
Mr. Howl can keep us safe, and this can help light the way.
You know, that might work. I think as long as we can stay together here, we should make camp. I remember the folks over at the convenience store, they said that at night things get a little crazy here. And, you know, I can already start to see things around or hear things.
But do we think that Joy is gonna,
Yeah, left to their own devices, I do think Joy and Pearl are gonna just continue trying to go toward the circus.
Yeah.
Unless physically stopped.
Well, you know, I think all the noises that are being made and the fact that people have died in these woods is a pretty compelling argument to maybe just chill, because I don't know how the heck they're seeing things, and I'm pretty sure they're probably tripping over a lot of things, which means they're getting injured constantly. So, you know, once again, pretty compelling argument.
I think Joy is also, while certainly a bit manic right now, and feeling this strange pull, is still human and would be exhausted from walking on their hands for hours at this point. At the mention of stopping for the night, perhaps Joy's arms finally give out and she kind of collapses in a heap on the forest floor. Maybe I can't fly tonight, but in the morning I'll see the sky. I'll see the stars. Whatever's past these stupid clouds. Flying monsters.
We'll definitely go first daylight. Don't you worry.
Well, okay. Mr. Howl will keep us safe if we decide to sleep.
Pearl's gonna scramble up a tree.
I think Joy will see you go up the tree and be like, wait, take me with you.
I can try to lift her up with the trapeze.
You know, you brought that. You could tie off that up there and...
She's just going to be swinging all night.
Just a little piece of home.
And Joy this whole time has kind of been dragging behind some of the ropes and stuff that she'd been hung up with before anyway. What we get is a short scene here of the two of you building together a little trapeze, and Joy, with what strength she has left, kind of hooks her legs over it. Her legs are broken, not at the knee, but at probably around the shin.
Yeah.
And so they are splinted there, but she's able to still hook her legs around the trapeze bar. And then she uses some of the ropes around her to tie her legs in that position. So she can hang there overnight like a bat. Once settled with that, Joy breathes a genuine sigh of relief. Thank you, Pearl. You're a friend.
Don't you think the blood rushes to your head?
Yeah.
Huh. I think Pearl will try hanging upside down to sleep too.
Isn't it great? That's a sweet little scene, and I think we really ought to answer the first question before we actually get to the circus. But I feel like I'm going to give you one more clue here. I can just do that as the keeper. I'm powerful like that. I can just give you things. I think what she does is, once she's settled there, she reaches up and she hands a bit of scrap canvas. It's striped red and white and that candy coloring like you often see on carnival tents. And you can tell as you hold it that, Pearl, you're familiar with the rivers that flow inside the body as well as those that flow over the land. You're familiar with blood. You're no stranger to it. And you can tell the red of this red and white is absolutely dried blood sort of red, stained, I think, with that exactly. It is that exact sort of red. But this scrap of cloth is unmistakably something from the circus. And when she hands that to you, Joy, she smiles. I found this on the ground over there. We're close. We're close.
I'm going to sniff it.
Yeah, smells fresh, I guess.
Now, David, if I eat this.
Yes.
So I have a move that is if I sacrifice something from the land to the water by eating it. And I've been waiting to actually use the function of that.
Yeah,
but if I eat this, does that take it away from being a clue?
No, it's still a clue. I think this works perfectly. This is a great example of this, actually.
Okay, then I'm going to eat it.
All right. Read the mouth devouring, please.
All right. The move overall is called Twin Mouths, and there are two parts of it. There's the mouth devouring and the mouth returning. Right now I have the mouth devouring. You can consume any object or material, evidence, ritual objects, small creatures, without harm to your body. When you sacrifice something from the land to the water, a piece of technology, a monument, a sign of modern progress, make your next roll with advantage and switch this condition to the mouth returning.
So your next roll is at advantage.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a piece of evidence. So it's actually listed as one of the things I can eat.
And it won't count for this particular roll, but I do think that as we are sitting here under the globe light in the little makeshift camp we're making here, I do think we need to answer a question about where exactly is the circus currently located. This is a complexity 4.
Does anybody have any particular thoughts or suspicions besides it just being somewhere near here in the woods?
Part of me feels like it's in the thickest part of the woods, to be precise.
Something like obscured or something.
Yeah, like it almost feels, I don't know if this is the intent necessarily. Those who can find the circus is a specific type of like person to be able to find it. Kind of like those feelings of like, if you go deeper and deeper into the woods, there's this sense of survival for people. It's like, I shouldn't go farther and deeper. It's getting darker and thicker. Whereas people maybe like Joy and Lune and Pearl are like, yeah, let's go. Like, there's nothing scary about the dark thickness. There's only fun and adventure there.
I think it self-selects for people who want to find the circus, want to go to the circus more than they want to protect their own life. If you really want to find the circus, that's how you find the circus.
I also have a pitch to add on to this. We've kind of alluded to the circus being up a few times, as like when it whisked Sisna away. Where could that trapeze have been?
And Joy keeps mentioning she wants to fly and like all that stuff.
But we also have like the sort of like scarring through the woods that was like the path to where it was. Hot take. We've got a Baba Yaga situation, and it's a circus on legs.
I love that. I was actually going to say it should move. That's perfect.
Or something that was like ripped up from the ground.
Can we make it, instead of a circus on legs, can we make it a circus on wings?
Do you want this thing to fly?
A flying circus!
I mean, could it be some sort of birds or wings that are carrying this?
I love that.
I don't know, because I was thinking like an overheard conversation, that's a lot of peanuts. Does the circus just have an overabundance of peanuts because they have to feed the things that are flying the circus? I don't know.
Yeah, flying elephants.
Yeah,
flying elephants.
Flying elephants.
Dumbos.
They're trucks.
Dumbo is helping to cart around the flying fucking circus in the sky.
That's sick as hell.
I love
But
that.
like to the point of what Emma and I were talking about, of like, you have to be a special breed of person. The ticket master or the ring master says you're almost somewhere wonderful. Oh, and that kind of maybe hints to like there's a special way to get there.
Yeah.
And you're a special kind of person, this special kind of place.
Perhaps it's that the circus comes to places where there are concentrations of people who would desire it, right?
Well, so sorry, I had to reread that, and that's the ticket that Sisna has. So
Yeah, but you can apply the idea here that like the referring to the circus, you're almost somewhere wonderful. You can apply that in lots of different ways, right?
You actually never find the circus finds you.
I think the scrap of striped canvas, its ragged edges scabbed with dried blood, I think that quite literally has like fallen from the sky because of like whatever these, if we're going with the elephants or whatever, like clawed into this thing. Like it maybe is not a little strenuous and one of them is injured, and that's why it's got blood on the canvas and it's fallen to the earth. All right, so we have 3 clues. Is there a way we can get this 4th one in, or do we want to save it? Because right now we need 4 to like roll at without any minuses.
do you think that the fresh path could be like a break in the land, or like almost like an earthquake had happened in a way that when this circus got taken to the sky?
Or a takeoff strip.
I was going to see if it's literally just debris that's falling. It's literally, it's like the landing strip or like the takeoff like of where it is, and that stuff that has, it's like the jet stream, like shit that has fallen from behind. It's the debris that it's...
The elephants make such big poops that's how the path was built.
Oh my gosh.
It's elephant poop.
Anyway, we have 4 clues.
Yeah.
Emma, you get to roll at advantage.
I don't think that works for
Does
answering
that
the
not
question.
apply here?
I mean, you can still roll.
I can still roll, though, if you want me to.
Yeah, let's do it.
And I'm rolling 2 dice.
2 dice plus 0.
Okay, that's a 3. That's a 4, so that's a 7.
7 on a mixed success. Answer a question on a 7 to 9. The answer is still correct, but I will add an unwelcome complication to the answer, and or pursuing the opportunity will become more dangerous. I have an immediate one for this. You all are here. It's dark in the forest. You hear the quiet noises of insects, of distant birds, the hooting of an owl, the chirping of crickets. You're lit by this soft glow. Most of you are probably asleep at this moment. Who's keeping watch?
Mr. Howl.
Yeah, all of you are asleep then. Mr. Howl sits on a stump. What do you imagine, Lune? Where have you put Mr. Howl to look over your group?
Wherever he's got best visibility. So like if that's on a stump or something like that, he's kind of in a low branch of a tree right now. So he's kind of above Lune's head. She's got her back to the tree, and he's keeping watch over all of us. And Lune is sleeping a little fitfully, but she knows that he's there, so it's all good.
Yeah, we do this slow pan up from each of your different sleeping faces. We pan around. We pan to Lune finally at the end. We do a slow pan up to Mr. Howl sitting on the branch amidst all those other soft, almost comforting, just a little bit, spooky noises of the forest that we've described so far. We hear a beating of wings, and we see Mr. Howl shake just a little bit on the tree each time as the tree itself is moved by the strength of these gusts. I think in many ways, us watching, we're all led to believe that this is the Dusk Mother threat. This is this large avian creature that's come for us at last. But as the beating grows louder and louder, we hear a trumpeting noise. You hear this elephant trumpet, massive, reverberating, and we immediately see Joy's eyes fly open. She sits up, blocking the camera's view of Mr. Howl, and she says, "Oh, it's here." Suddenly, with that trumpeting, we hear a swell of carnival tunes, as if all like cranking suddenly to life. We hear the organ, we hear the sort of like tinkling of the music box. It's a cacophony of carnival excitement. And from above, we hear unfurling down to us, finally ending at just above the light floating in the air, a ladder built of those same rungs as the single rung of the trapeze itself, those same dowels, wrapped up in ropes, adorned with flags. We can see just a little ways up from our light, but we can see now in the sky above, the clouds having been almost forcibly parted by the gusts from, I'm gonna imagine like 4 massive elephants, just like truly enormous. And as they're flapping their Dumbo-like ears, we see their little stumpy legs kicking in the air, idling like a drone. This single ladder gone down, and at the very bottom, on a little plaque, you just see etched something wonderful. As we see the group of you looking up at that ladder, our camera, like lightning quick, pans up the length of the ladder here in the darkness, past the elephants, up onto the actual body of the elephants proper. We see the tents that have been almost like growing organically from their backs, the boardwalk that, like scales on a lizard, seem to be poking forward from the skin off of the elephants, emerging and leading people down further in. Our ladder sort of comes off of one of those all the way to the ground, and we see standing at the top, pushing a cart, is a man in a hot dog suit with red and yellow sunglasses. And they're taking out scoops from their thing, pulling out hot dogs, laying them down, getting them ready on their trolley. And we see them standing here. We see them turn and look. And because we're so far out, like for the first time, we're actually zoomed out enough from all of this to be able to see the entire thing, rather than like little pieces of it from within. We're not so distracted by the immediacy where we can see the whole picture. And we follow the hot dog man's gaze, and we can see where he's looking from, where this ladder has been dropped from, is actually not at the very beginning of the carnival. It's not like where the tickets are. It's not where the midway is, but this is at the edge of a very large tent. There's a boardwalk that runs around it. This is the big top, and we see entering through the side as he is looking down at this ladder that's been dropped. We see Sisna entering the big top itself, walking along, a toad perched on your shoulder. And now we'll take your scene, Sisna, as you think back to your life previously.
As Sisna and Katie walk into the big top, that flap gets pulled aside, but then when we walk in, it's a transition to the past of Sisna walking into Biased and signing a contract to be a custodian. They are being interviewed by Biased to see if they are worthy enough. I want to become better, stronger, and pursue the task that I am meant to follow. But we see Sisna later somewhere praying to the beast that stalks in the tall grass. The offerings that they have made to the beast has not been good enough. They've been failing them. Without Biased, Sisna cannot pursue the gods and saints needed to sustain and bring the beast to life.
And you enter the big top with fanfare, and the crowd goes wild. This has been The Divinity Plague, featuring
Miah as Sisna,
Drew as Gary,
Emma as Pearl,
Lauren as Lune,
and David. This god still hungers for more.
The Divinity Plague is a production of the Monsters Playbook. This episode was produced and edited by Miah and Lauren. All music and sound effects were provided by Epidemic Sound and Envato. If you like this episode, please tell a friend. We love friends. You can find the Monsters Playbook on the social media network that resonates with you. We post on Facebook, Instagram, Tumblr, and Blue Sky, and we hang out on Discord, and sometimes Twitch. If you just can't get enough of the Monsters Playbook, you can also support us on Patreon, where you'll find blooper reels, exclusive merch, and bonus content. We'll see you next episode, where, as always, we'll have some good news and some bad news. Thanks for listening.
All right, so we've got daddy babies. We've got
title.
Baby daddies. No, that doesn't work.
That's different.
baby daddies isn't bad.
I mean, that's what you call a baby daddy when you get knocked up.
Babied daddies.
Baby daddies. There we go. Yeah, baby daddies. Daddy's here. Anyway.
Daddy's home.
Daddy's home.